much. So let's just settle into a comfortable seated posture. You can have maybe both feet flat on the floor or about a hip's width apart. And just feel the sensation and the weight of your feet in the floor, the backs of the legs on the chair, the weight of your sits bones in the chair, your hands in your lap, and your shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is just a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So imagine you're lengthening your spine. And just get to the crown of the head and release any tension in your scalp, your forehead, eyes, nose, your cheeks, the area around your mouth. Relax the back of the tongue and the head and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then just be aware of the breath sensations as you inhale and exhale. Just allowing your mind to focus on the breath. And then if there's any distractions like sound, so try not to follow the sound. And then just be aware of what's in your mind this evening and try and put some space in between your thoughts. Trying not to follow the thoughts with the mind. And then just try not to judge what's in there. Just be objective about what you're seeing. And we have a lot of different things going on in our minds. Some of the thoughts are non-virtuous, some of them are virtuous. Sometimes it's really hard to separate it all out. We just have to develop initially some kind of awareness of what's actually in the mind when. There was this television show, it's a British show, like a detective show called Vera. Now some of you may have heard of it. It was on BritBox. And so in this show, of course, somebody always gets murdered. And the thing that always amazed me at the end of every show, it always turned out that the person who actually committed the act had got completely the wrong end of the stick. And it's so interesting to me that this getting something wrong and following the delusions led to this horrible thing. So it's always good to keep I always kind of think about that, because also the devastation on the person when they realized they had got it wrong. So keep our mind clean and clear. Then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like, and remember these relationships are interchangeable and they're all equal. They're just like you and me. Everybody wants to be happy, no one wants to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we think, as Lama Yeshe would say, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And so the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear this, we cannot bear, any more suffering in our lives than we already have. So it makes sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So you think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not sort of looking to Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power in that way. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so then there's a little section on compassion, and it's also under the heading of reliance, because we need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. So we think about those beings who've you've harmed, and who've harmed us, and just have a wish for them to be free from suffering. So this is what really compassion is. And so then you make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sabosidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam triyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sabosidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sabosidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next, our speech. So imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful white nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiata sawa kama sitame, Sitam triam kuru hum ha 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 bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sabosidi mimpiata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sabosidi mimpiata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kur Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Triyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it happens instantaneously when the light comes and just it completely eradicates all the negativity, the darkness of the negativity of the mind. So, all your attachments and dissatisfaction and depression and anger and bitterness and grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And now think that there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. So the nectar flows down, pushes out all the negativity of the body, and the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and blasts all of those delusions. And so this way, this is happening all at the same time. It's kind of busy. And you imagine that it's eradicated even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity is left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth, the final step in the purification process. And it's really crucial because here we have to make a decision that we want to refrain from harming. We don't want to harm. So then we have to kind of put a plan in place. So first we have the aspiration. And then I would always rejoice in your efforts for coming along, just like it's doing something, it's amazing. And then think about something you'd like to be working on. I think for most of us, it's just this kind of self-doubt, ruminating, maybe our speech. I think most people don't go around killing things or kind of trying to rip people off. I think, but I do think we probably could get our speech under control and our mind towards ourselves. Anyway, imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So he would say, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. The beginningless complexity, devoid, by nature pure reality and essence, unwavering, a speaker of the truth, with speech and actions perfectly aligned. A teacher of the non-dual truth, non-dual, atop reality's most lofty peak, with selflessness his wild lion's roar, instilling fear in deer-like mind misled seekers. With journeys fruitful, travelling everywhere, as swift as thought in all Tathagatas, a victor slayer of foes, triumphant lord, a universal king with forces great. Okay, everybody, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift discovery of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. I don't think it's actually going to be swift. I was talking to a nun friend the other night, and she just said, my friend Senla, Venerable Senla, and she said, His Holiness has said that just leave him alone for a bit. So that could be years. Let him be with his mother. Anyway, anyway, hopefully we'll see the reincarnation at some point. And then for all of your own individual teachers, may they live long. I also just wanted to mention my cousin, Andrew Savory, had a stroke. So I just wanted to mention, yeah, he must be at least 10 years younger than me. He was a baby when I was about 15, 13, 14, 15. So anyway, I just wanted to mention his name at the end of this practice. Okay. Oh, I'm just reading these messages. There is a new TNL app. Wow. Okay.
The link is right there.
Okay. I'll just look it up on the Apple Store.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. That's great. Cool. What a great idea. All right, everyone. Lots of love. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Thanks for hosting, Shayla and Bill. All right. Bye.